Welcome to Muses. My name is Devontae Banks. Our guest this week is the amazing Tyler Baxter and the Fuzz. They're composed of Tyler Baxter himself on vocals and bass. We also have Matt Roberson also joining us and returning guest Ivan Ayala. They're going to perform the very personal and sonically pleasing song, Landing Gear. Thank you for Tyler Baxter and the Fuzz for performing, and we'll be right back with more Muses. Welcome back to Muses. I'm Devontae Banks again, and I'm still here with the Tyler Baxter Band. Now, first off, I want to say thank you guys for coming on to the show.
Oh, no problem, man. Absolutely.
Now, the first thing I want to ask is, how did a group of you guys meet?
So I met Matt when I was in sophomore in high school. We were playing in a band together called Static Calm. We met, I was playing guitar like on the outside of the school, and I was just noodling around, and he struck up conversation with me. A couple months later, he was like, hey man, if you need another guitar player, hit me up. And I did, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made, because this guy's a wizard, you know.
He looks like a wizard. So
very beardly, yeah. But we've been playing for about 8 years or so together. About 10 years actually, from 2010 to now, or 2008 to now, so about 10 years. And I met Ivy. I was playing with a gentleman named Rufus Dawkins, who's been on the show before, I believe.
Friend for the program.
And yeah, and we played together for a while, and me and Matt were having difficulty finding a drummer for this project. And we hit Ivy up and said, hey man, you want to play some drums for us? And he's always down to do music, so.
How'd you move from just going, oh, I want to do guitar to I want to do vocals? Because for some people, that's kind of a leap.
Well, we're playing, you know, three-piece, so everybody's kind of got to show up, and you know, depending on what the needs of the band are, what the needs of the song are, I'll either focus more on the vocal or the bass aspect, or Matt jumps in with background, and Ivy, we can't shut him up to stop, you know, yelling in the tracks, but it's all on a need basis. I started doing vocals because we didn't have anybody to do it, and then I got comfortable with it, and I decided, oh, maybe I want to do this. Maybe I want to do this, and I was nervous at first. In the beginning, especially in the beginning, like I had to turn the mic around and like sing to the back of the stage almost to get it done. And now it's like night and day, you know. I feel more comfortable on stage than I do anywhere else.
Oh, that's great. And there's something I also wanted to ask is, like when I listen to your music, like I know for like that it sounds like you're really going very deep, especially with like songs about, you know, your father and just very personal things. Was it like kind of like hard to get to that level at first? Were you always writing personal stuff, or at first was just like, I'm trying to impress my friends, then you go to that?
It never really was about impressing friends. I wanted to try and start with telling stories in the songs. And if you go back early, you know, back in the Static Calm stuff that me and Matt used to do, to now, all the Tyler Baxter stuff, it's all like a diary screaming out, you know. It's all about, I decided I wanted to be more personal. I wanted to connect to somebody who might be feeling the same stuff, instead of just telling a story, you know. There's two ways you can do it in the rock world. You can tell an elaborate concept album story, or you can be real with somebody and say, hey, this is what I went through. Maybe you connect with this. Maybe this is on your current. You know?
Also, in terms of collaboration, how does that work between you three? Like, what do you two bring to it that Tyler needs in the band?
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff really starts with Tyler. I mean, it's obviously it's a lot of his personal strife, trial and tribulation, that kind of thing. I said we've been playing so long together that it's just kind of a second nature for the two of us almost. If he presents an idea, then usually I can just kind of riff off of it and help develop it. And really more emphasis on kind of what he's trying to convey and trying to figure out the best way to complement that, because I'm old school rock and roll gearhead, and I want to play everything a little bit louder than I probably should, but it's given me some context to ease back a little bit and be a little bit more controlled and savor the vibe.
Oh yeah, I could totally see that, because I like one of the things that like a lot of bands that I know is like, even around, especially in Clarksville, they lack like a certain cohesiveness. And that's one thing I like about this certain LP, like the TBLP, is like it feels like it's all one album and it's one idea. Did it start that way?
I had a couple of songs written already, and then I put it on the back burner. I started playing out for other people to get more experience in gigging. I played for Rufus for a while, and I just sort of kept these songs to myself, secret. And I decided that it was it was time to do it. If I was going to be playing and singing the way that I wanted to, it's time to do my own stuff. Needed to be backed by some great guys and a great band, but I got to do it. So I hit up Lane Roberson, who does Contra Coda Media in Clarksville, and he took on the task of recording the songs and helping me shape them from the ground up. So the idea was to go for as raw a sound as possible, but also hit as many genres as possible while maintaining the fact that this was all done by one artist.
Nowadays, is how do you get the actual music out there? Do you contact different venues, or do they contact you more?
Word of mouth is always the best, especially social media wise. If you are personable to people and you make good contacts, good things will happen to you. If you envision them, they'll happen to you. It's sort of not to be kind of a hokey, like power of positive thinking kind of guy, but if you do things with the intention in mind and seeing that almost as your only option, it'll happen. So I wanted to get my songs on the radio, and 4 out of the 5 songs on the EP are in rotation on 91.9 FM, you guys' station, and soon to be in rotation in other radio stations, hopefully. But it's all about reaching out. You can't expect somebody to reach out, because by the time opportunity knocks, it's knocked too late, and you're trying to do something else. So you're trying to climb up the ladder, or it's less a climb and more a stretch.
Of course. And speaking on the radio station thing, I know, especially like, Doc V, it probably couldn't have been easy to get your songs on the radio. How does that conversation even go down?
That was intimidating. Oh my goodness. It was so, I got a phone call after we did a show at Wicked Good Sandwiches in Clarksville on May the 12th, and I got a phone call a day or two after, and he said, listen, my wife and daughter were at the show, and like I'm friends with his daughter, and she showed up, and he said they gave me this EP to listen to, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. And this whole phone call, I'm going, I could get on the radio, I'm so excited. And then we talked, we sat down, and he shared his thoughts and what he believed, what was positive about it, what he thought I should go with the next time around, which will be soon. No dates yet or anything like that, but it'll be soon for the next release. And he said at the end, I'm gonna air your songs. I'm gonna air the songs that I like, and it ended up being 4 out of the 5 songs on there.
And one thing that I really like about like this particular record as well is that like even the story of most of the songs is about you fighting being labeled a certain type of way. And like the album, I think one of the things that I think is interesting about this band and why people I think like you guys is that you guys are a rock group, but the music isn't just that. It has so many more things. So what's the next project going to be for you?
We're gonna maintain the raw sound. We're actually going to try to go even rawer with it. We're going to do less digital work. We're not going to be looking at as many screens during tracking. We've got a multi-track board that we're going to use. It's not analog because we can't afford tape, but we're going to do it basically all in one take. We're going to take a couple of weeks and just tone chase and finish up writing and polish it off there, do all the heavy lifting there, and then track it in a couple of days. We're going to try to, and after that, we're going to export all of that into the computer, do all the fancy schmancy polishing up and all that. But for the most part, like the last record, it's going to be performance. The only thing I would have changed about it was I was sitting down in a studio playing the parts, but I was looking at the screen, I was looking at the sine waves past me, and I really didn't care for that. I just wanted to perform it. Like the last one, there's not going to be any edits as far as, there's no edits on it. It's all performances, it's all one goes. It's not pitch corrected vocally or instrumentally. It's all live, pretty much. As live as we could get it at the time.
Interfere. You're that type of person to where you don't want to use those things to interfere.
It's really distracting to me. I have a short attention span. Like, I'm having trouble not looking around right now, but it's so hard. But I have a short attention span, and I'll be focusing on everything but, because these parts are so rote to me. If I just essentially isolate myself in a way that I'm not looking at anything except for what I'm playing, or even just the wall in front of me, no screens, I believe the performances will just get better and better, like the way they used to do it back in the 70s. In these old studios, there were no screens back then to look at. It was all just, the engineers and producers, they had their tapes and the reel, and they would hit record and they say, go.
Yeah, raw motion. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you guys for coming on for our interview portion, and we'll be right back with more Muses. Welcome back. I'm here with Tyler Baxter and the Fuzz, and they're going to perform their 2 songs, Dear Brother and Lowell.
Dear brother, I was just in your neighborhood. How's it going? How have you been? Do you want to talk about it? I want to tell you that I love you, but I'm not sure just how you'll take it. But I have a plan now about this. We pretend you and I grew up together with all those years. It's hard to fake it. My flesh and blood till the end, and with a little help I know I'll make it. Dear brother, can I come home in your neighborhood? Brief glimpses found in pictures don't do it anymore. While you were out, I made some changes. Rearrange myself the way you want it, to stick with the plan. How about this? We pretend you and I grew up together with all those years. It's hard to fake it. You're my flesh and blood till I can remember every freckle and every indentation, every hair out of place, every good and bad intention. Forget fences, which one to tear, atop green hills, where the rest of our life commences.
For the final song, they will be performing Bend. Well, thank you to Tyler, Matt, and Ivan for coming onto the show. Please buy a new LP TB, and we hope you will stay our muse next week.
You're the understand what's right for me. Still be the villain in somebody's story, running away with the fruits of their success. Good or bad, I take the glory. Stay your thing, stay your mind. Leave the solid print behind. Replace my thoughts with what you